Good morning, welcome to Mayor's Weekly, and as always, we're pleased to have you with us today. This morning, I want to spend a few minutes giving you updates on various projects that we've talked about that are happening or about to happen in our city, and because you need to know what's going on. And the first one I want to talk about is Rural King. That's the retail entity that will go in the old Kmart facility. We have been in continuous contact with their leadership leading up to what we think work will get underway probably in the next couple of 3 weeks. They have had their architectural folks, contractors in looking at the building. A really good piece of news is they don't think that the rehabbing of the building is going to be as extensive as they thought it would be, and the result of that is they should be able to get open for business sooner than they had planned. But based on our conversations with their leadership in the past few days, they're wrapping up on a few last minute things, and they think that work will get underway sometime in early June. They thought it might happen in May, but the really good news is that the work's probably not going to be as extensive as they thought, and they can get the doors open for business. And of course, we know the benefits that brings to Jasper is additional tax revenues that allow us to support what goes on in the city. The next one is the Starbucks facility. Again, we've been in continuous contact with the developer. Our last conversation was a couple of days ago, and things that come into play there, satisfying the Alabama Department of Transportation about accessing the roads, then getting their final architectural plans in place here for the city, and that is just about to wrap up. We've told the developer that site work, if they're going to take down the old metal building, that can get underway before they wrap up on their last detail items to get that going. So wouldn't be surprised if we don't see some site work, demolition work get underway within the next 2 or 3 weeks. But that's going to be an excellent development for the city, and bringing top drawer retail names to our city, and that's a plus. Moving on to 9th Avenue, we hate the inconvenience that those that travel 9th Avenue are having to deal with, but it's working through. Traffic is being routed around the work that's going on. And here's what's happening on 9th Avenue. As you could see before work got underway, that there were multiple roadbed failures up and down 9th Avenue. And then we hired an engineering firm that has done some design work on the ground every day on this project, and how do we fix those failures and hopefully have a reliable wearing surface for many years into the future. But the areas where failures have been identified, and sometime before my time, I don't recall it, 9th Avenue had a concrete roadbed wearing surface, and the asphalt and concrete do not bond well. But where there have been failures, those failures are being cut out. A local contractor, Gillespie Construction, is handling that work. They're being cut out, going all the way down to the roadbed, and I mean that, the roadbed, the soil, bringing it, doing compaction work, bringing it back up with fill material, some sort of high-grade asphalt that I think has a high tensile strength, load-bearing capacity, and when that's finished, then that should put things in place to begin to put the final wearing coat on 9th Avenue. I was there yesterday walked 9th Avenue, looked at the work, and from what I can see, and I'm not trained in that area, but it looks like that there's a good game plan there for curing those problems. And so once that's done, weather permitting, and looks like the weather forecast is favorable, that project maybe will wrap up in the next couple of weeks. That's what I hope for. The last thing, I don't do Facebook, but I like to read our city's Facebook page and the comments that made. And when we announced the Starbucks development and Whataburger joining, people saying another hamburger joint, can't hire anybody and do this. Well, I'm pleased to report to you that Freddy's open this week, and I'm told that it is the largest grand opening in the history of that company. I can tell you, I've been there, I've met with the leadership, and that entity is staffed with capable folks, have to be capable to execute the largest grand opening in the history of that company. And so yes, there are people that'll work, and yes, hamburger joints, if you will, can be well managed. And I can tell you, when Whataburger gets here, you'll see the same thing. And what I would point out to those folks that naysayers of sorts, the unemployment rate in this county, in this city, is at 1.9%. I can remember a long time ago when I was studying economics, they generally thought that if you could get an unemployment rate in the 5% range, you were fully employed. Well, 1.9% unemployment rate is probably the lowest it's ever been, and you can't have that without a lot of folks working. I can tell you, we look at our sales tax receipts in this city, and they continue to grow, and the only way they can grow is people spending money, and by and large, disposable income comes from working. And so I'm excited about that, and so optimistic about the future of this city. I've been working and continue to work, and we think it will become a reality. An industrial prospect that would locate in our industrial park, and I think we'll know more of the details about that in the coming weeks, and to the extent we can, we'll share it with you. But on the retail side, things look really good in this city. Our tax receipts continue to grow. People that come here and hold themselves out in business are having experiences beyond their expectation, something we'll all be proud of. So I don't really think there's much room for pessimism as you look at Jasper. The people that I talk to on the ground that understand what's going on are highly optimistic. So I want to share those things with you. If you have questions in regard to any of what I've mentioned, please let me know, and we'll move swiftly to get you an answer. Look forward to being with you next week.